Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative Eddy. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. It's Thursday. Yes, Thursday. You know what that means? It's time for another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure y'all like, damn, they ain't do nothing Tuesday. Nope, because Scottie D, I'm putting it the wrong way. Scottie D wanted to watch a game, and we want to watch as well, too. I had stuff to do. B-Live got stuff to do. And speaking of stuff to do, we're not going to keep you here too long. So guess what? You get us here Thursday. That's right. Another episode of your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bros Podcast. I'm rambling, I'm stuttering, I'm discombobulated. But with that being said, I got two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? The reason why we usually record on Monday, have it to you on Tuesday. But somebody wanted to be selfish and wanted to say they couldn't record while their beloved Cowboys were playing after they spent a whole 2 weeks complaining about it. And then now
our beloved Cowboys.
If you're watching the video on YouTube or other social media,
whatever. I don't even know which way he's at, but yeah, I have a special finger for him. I ain't gonna do that on the air. You got the whole game messed up right there. But yes, it was somewhat entertaining watching football on Monday night, but there were better games to watch on Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, it'd have been better if that game would have been on Saturday, because now the 49ers had an entire 48 hours to rest and look at game film. And then the Cowboys had to fly all the way from Tampa Bay all the way to the West Coast. San Francisco just sat at home. And the Cowboys are starting their excuses early for when they lose to the 49ers. My bad. We'll talk about that later. Eddy, cool. My bad. Amtrak, go ahead and introduce the other guy. Go ahead and get his stuff out the way. Yes, sir.
Putting it back on the tracks, baby, is yours truly. And the other guy, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. I think this week he still wants to be known as the HLLIC, the head lunch lady in charge. I guess, man, whatever makes you happy, your Cowboys won. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D.
Da, 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 da. Woo! I dodged a bullet. I dodged the Brady bullet, because them boys looked like garbage in Washington just over a week ago. And they got their act together Monday night. 52 out of the 53 players on the field Monday night got their act together. And the one that has me scared, really scared, going to San Francisco. We'll get into that here in a few minutes. But good to see you guys later in the week here. But good to be around my bros. It was a magnificent weekend of football watching. Between Saturday and Sunday, there were 5 NFL games, and I took 5 naps. That's what happens when
one
you get
nap
your
per game.
50s. Yeah, when you get in your 50s, that's what happens to you. But as B-Live would say, I digress. So let's talk a little football. Let's talk about this weekend, shall we?
That's right. We had the super wild card weekend, the mega big old wild card weekend, a whole bunch of games. You win in advance, you lose, you go home and get you the world famous eliminated sign stamped across your team logo. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. Fellas, man, just like y'all said, man, it was just it was an epic week of football, epic weekend of football. So capping it off with the Cowboys getting that big win in Tampa Bay, running the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of the big sombrero. And with that being said, I have a two-part question for you and including myself. All right. What was the most surprising or unexpected thing that you saw during the course of Super Wild Card Weekend? Scottie D, you go first.
Well, seeing a kicker miss 4 extra points was extremely surprising to me. That was and shocking, and again scary. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. I think I was a little bit surprised at how much difficulty the favorites had this weekend, and speaking specifically about Buffalo and Cincinnati, because I thought both of those teams were going to seriously regroup after the season finale and have really great showings in home games, both against division rivals, teams that they knew pretty well. And maybe that works against a little bit because you practice, but or you play against them twice a year like that. After seeing Buffalo struggle with Miami and then kind of wriggling off the hook, I thought Cincinnati watched that and they were going to take care of their business. I was surprised that for them, the biggest play of the game was a swat on the 1 yard line from the Ravens quarterback Huntley trying to score that went the other way for a 94-yard touchdown. That was the biggest play of the game. That was the turning point of the game. All season long, well, actually early in the season, we talked about how the Bengals would be the most dangerous team in the NFL if they had any kind of offensive line to protect Joe Burrow. And as the season went on, that offensive line got better and better and better, and the Bengals got better and better and better. And now they had this, what's his name, Jonah Williams, their left tackle went down with a dislocated knee in that game. And I think that another one of their starting line, maybe their right tackle, is also injured. And they look a little bit more shaky. It looks like Burrow is under fire a little bit more. I was expecting more firepower from the Bengals. I thought they would score more. I thought they had been really hitting their stride. All their big weapons are all healthy. Their 3 receivers, Mixon, who's the other running back? Is P. Ryan their second round?
Samaje P. Ryan.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst. I mean, the team's loaded, and the defense didn't really play all that badly. I just was expecting a little bit better. I was surprised the Bengals didn't give us a better offensive performance. That would be probably. I mean, there was a big surprise on Saturday, B Live. I don't know if that was the direction you were going, but what was the most surprising that you found on the weekend?
Well, here's I'm gonna go ahead and say this, because this weekend, as entertaining as it was, it had a surprise in every single game. Of course, the elephant in the room is that the Chargers were up 27-0.
Yes. And it was over.
It was over.
It was over.
I'm wearing, you can barely see it, but I got my Clemson Tiger Paw. The reason why I'm wearing that is because I wanted to emphasize how much I am a Jaguar fan this postseason, because I don't have a dog in the fight. My Carolina Panthers are sitting at home trying to figure out if they want to hire Sean Payton for head coach. Oh boy. That's a whole nother situation within itself. But I will always have an affinity for all of my Clemson Tiger boys as they go on to the next level. Just to let you know, there is a Clemson Tiger player on all 14 playoff teams, all roads lead to Dabo. So either way, a Clemson Tiger will have a Super Bowl ring, no matter what happens in this postseason. But to see my boy, Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, throw 4 interceptions.
That was surprising.
Very, very surprising.
In the first half.
I think it was all in the first quarter. It may have been, but yeah. Either way, all in the first half. I'm watching as because I've been talking about it. They won the division. Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson. This is the magic combination that all the talk heads like to talk about. You get a good quarterback, you get a good head coach. Sky's the limit. And I'm watching as everybody talking trash. interception after interception, tip ball. Where are you throwing that at? 27-9. I'm just like, oh, this is over with. And especially had one of my boys actually at the game, a diehard Jaguar fan. Ramon James was at the game. I'm like, oh my God. I feel so bad for him. And then I watched as the magic I've been speaking about all season. Trevor Lawrence decided the second half to be the Trevor Lawrence that I know him to be. And the Los Angeles Chargers magically transformed into the Atlanta Falcons as their lead dissipated in the wind. What happened?
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Very much so. Very much so crazy.
That's the elephant in the room, of course, but good Lord, there was a surprise in every single game. The Seahawks were tied with the 49ers at the end of the first half.
They were up a point. They were up a point at halftime.
I think, actually, okay.
They were up 17-16 at the half. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I told you last week I thought maybe that Seahawks had a chance because of a divisional opponent and them going for the sweep, and they showed it in the first half. But then just San Francisco's too much. They're just a better team.
Of course. Tom Brady noodle arm went to throw the ball away, threw it right into the hands of J-Ron Curse.
Unbelievable.
Dabo.
Yeah. That was crazy. He admitted he was trying to throw it away too.
Yeah. What happened? The Minnesota Vikings. Who are
they? Fraud. They're a fraud. They're a fraud. That's what they are. And the Minnesota Vikings fans listen to this podcast. I'm not sorry because, as we said here on the podcast, was it last week? When they win big. Well, no. When they win, they win barely. When they lose, they lose big. Yes. Yeah. When they win, they barely win. And then when they lose, they get that ass thumped. So the thing about it is with the Minnesota Vikings, I've told people this all year. They have to figure something out in order to win and win big and win often. You let Brian Daboll, let's talk about that, fellas. Danny Dimes getting it done in the air and on the ground. 300 yards passing. Did he have a rushing touchdown too? And then a healthy Saquon Barkley. Ooh, boy.
Big surprise. The Giants and Cowboys both doing well post Jason Garrett, but go ahead.
It's a big surprise that the Giants and the Cowboys won a playoff game. It's been a while.
Very true.
You got 3 NFC East teams still in it, and then you got the 49ers. Oh, man. But the thing about it,
the Giants look really good. They look very good in that game.
The Minnesota Vikings messed around and have people believing in Danny Dimes again because he was out the door.
Yeah.
He was out. He was going to be a backup quarterback for the rest of his life.
He played himself into a new contract on that the other day. I think that performance spoke for itself. He threw the ball well. He ran the ball well, and the team got themselves into the division round of a playoff game. They hadn't been to the playoffs in like 7 years or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And Minnesota, you guys got a chance. You're at home. You have the football trying to tie the game up. And on a 4th and 8, you throw a 3-yard pattern to the tight end. I mean, come on. I mean, you got to get the ball down. If you throw it to that guy, your season's over. So why even run that route? Why even that's not doing you any good. That's stupidity. That is stupid. That is very Dallas Cowboy-like. But anyway, that was
the Minnesota Vikings end this season with 13 wins, 5 losses with a negative 10-point differential.
Damn.
They had 8 more wins than losses and yet end up negative in the point differential. Absolutely. That is Kirk Cousins like right there. He keep getting contracts and can't get it done in the postseason.
Who? Wait a minute. If we go back to the last episode, who called that to be an upset?
Yes, you did.
You did have that one.
I was like, man, I was like, they'll find a way to not beat the Minnesota Vikings. And I lied. I was wrong, wrong,
I
and
was too.
wrong.
I said I felt like that game was kind of a toss up, but I just really thought Minnesota's going to finally prove us wrong here and get a home win. And they started off like gangbusters. It came out with a great start to the game, but then they got no stops. They looked like a team who didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah,
quite frankly.
Yep, and that was my I was gonna put the Jaguars epic comeback, but now that I think about it, I'm like, Danny Dimes done played himself into a contract, and Saquon Barkley. See, now the Giants, well, actually, after they finished the postseason, during the offseason, the Giants have something to figure out. Who are we going to keep, Saquon, or are we going to keep Danny Dimes? Because think about it. Do you really want to rebuild with another new quarterback?
I think they get them both back.
They get them both back.
Yeah, they're going to have to get them both back. They're going to have to get them both back because think about it. They let a healthy Saquon for the first time in forever, and then a consistent Danny Dimes through the season, and then he's showing his ass in the playoffs. You got to get him back. You got to, by law.
They're not going to get big contracts. Neither one of them are. Mm-hmm. I mean, Saquon is still a top level player when he is healthy, but that's the best ability is availability. So I mean, he's going to get one of those mid-level running back when they get old. Old for running backs is 27, so he's going to get one of those mid-level contracts. Danny Dimes going to get one of those short contracts, probably 2-3 years. Probably like $15-20 million a year. He ain't getting no Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, he'll get more than that. He'll get more than that.
You think he'll get more than 20?
Yeah, and I think if they win this week, his value goes up even more. And I think it's entirely possible they can beat Philadelphia. They can run the ball and they can play defense. And Philly looked shaky the last couple of weeks, so I think it's possible.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, there's, I mean, 1 in a million chance. Yeah, it's possible. There's a mathematical probability in there that the stars can align and the holy angels from above and all. Yeah, there's a possibility. Come on.
And the sun shines on the dogs behind from time to time.
A broken clock
is right twice a day.
There's a possibility.
Insert any one of those here. All right, fellas, and move right along. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 games this weekend. So let's do some real quick previews and predictions. Jacksonville at Kansas City. Scottie D, who you got and why?
I'm taking Kansas City because I think Jacksonville has made their point. They're a good player or a good team on the rise. Trevor Lawrence is probably going to be the guy that's going to be the man in that division and go to the playoffs for years to come, but it's not their time yet. Kansas City is still the cock of the walk, so to speak. I like Patrick Mahomes to be the entire difference in that game.
Be Live, what say you?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was nice while it lasted. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what people expect. People don't really talk much about Jacksonville's defense. I think that they may give Patrick Mahomes a little bit of a fit, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. I think Kansas City wins this by 10.
Yep, I also say Kansas City as well, too. Jacksonville certainly on the rise. For the rest of you teams in the AFC South, it's Clayton's, it's over with. I'm looking at the experience factor of Patrick Mahomes. He's been there, done that, and done it all over again. And we'll see Patrick Mahomes get another win. So I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs. The Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. Scottie D, who you got?
I'm going to go upset. I'm going to pick the upset here.
He's going full send.
Because I didn't see a lot out of the Eagles the last couple of weeks, and I think the bye week might have hurt Philly opposite of the effect that it has for Kansas City. I think Kansas City, it was nice for them to sit and get a week to regroup and rest, but Philly was teetering the last couple of weeks of the season, and Jalen Hurts has been injured. Now for him, he obviously needed the extra time to heal up a little bit, but do we really know how healthy he is? And I think maybe the rust might be. I think the Giants have the momentum, and the rust factor for Philly is going to be the difference. I think the Giants will win this by like maybe 3 points.
Very interesting. I like the way you think, Scottie D, but how did Lee Corso say it? Not so fast. Here's the thing. I give the Giants all the props in the world. They're number 4 in defensive yards allowed this season. And it's definitely going to be closer than what people think. A lot of people are going to say pick Philly and they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. I'm with you, Scott, except for the fact that I think the Eagles are going to win this. I think it's just a little too much firepower with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has that dual threat ability. He may run the ball just a little bit less, but I believe in him just a little bit more than I believe in Danny Dimes. I'm going for the Eagles by 6. Eagles by 6.
Okay, good choice. I am going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles by a whole touchdown. I think that week of rest, that bye week is going to do them some good because, towards the end of the season, who in the hell is healthy? No one's healthy unless you're the athletic trainer, all right? But other than that, man, I think the Eagles may have a little bit too much for the Giants. They're going to give the Giants all they can handle. It's going to be close, but then the Eagles are going to pull away and win by a touchdown. In the AFC, we got Kansas City at Buffalo. Scottie D, why and who you got?
Cincinnati.
No, you got Cincinnati going to Buffalo, Jacksonville going to Kansas City. Just discuss Jacksonville, Kansas City. Cincinnati going to Buffalo. That's where we was at.
Oh, that's what I said. Buffalo.
You said Kansas City. We knew what you meant. We knew
what you meant.
I'm sorry. Here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it, everybody. I'm gonna put it in gallery view. I'm gonna put it in gallery view. Y'all can see. I'm looking at the damn screen right here, but somehow, some way, things got mixed up, confused, and discombobulated. We're gonna try this again. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Buffalo Bills. Scottie D, why and who you got?
Ooh, this one is so hard for me to pick because all week before this podcast, I was sure I was going to pick the Bengals, but that offensive line thing really bothers me. But the way Buffalo played last week bothers me. I feel like Buffalo comes out blazing a lot and then just kind of relaxes, and they don't run the ball enough. And I felt like the same thing happened in that game last week. And then whenever the other team starts catching up with them, I feel like, now they want to step on the gas again, and they just try throwing it, or Josh Allen will run it and bail them out. And that style of play bothers me because I think they are a little bit erratic sometimes, and they're a little bit streaky during the course of a game. Having said that, I think Buffalo's still riding that wave of emotion, and the offensive line thing with the Bengals worries me enough that I think Buffalo will win a close one here at home.
Be live. What say you?
Here's the kicker right here. This is gonna be shocking for me to say. I have to dig a little bit deep when I say this. Is there a possibility that Sean McDermott can have a little quiet little conversation with Josh Allen and tell Josh Allen that he doesn't have to do it all, to take a step back, less is more? Because it seems like Buffalo gets in trouble when Josh Allen tries to do too much.
And they better run it. They better establish a run.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to.
Was it Devin Singletary? I understand. They have playmakers in the backfield, but I feel like at times that they've given too much of the reins to Josh Allen. And they're sometimes what's the best way to call it? Their improvisational skills when they do things on the run, on the fly, when they change up plays, RPOs and stuff like that, where they give Josh Allen all these options, sometimes gets him into trouble because he's one of those quarterbacks that feel like there's not one thing that he can't do. And that turns into having the second most interceptions in all of the NFL. You can't. Here's one thing: don't let Cincinnati stay in the game because Cincinnati will score on you.
Yeah.
Cincinnati is just as dangerous. I think they're just as dangerous, if not a little bit more dangerous than Kansas City when it comes to making up ground.
And they're smart enough to not stand back in the pocket,
right?
To get rid of the ball rather than, if the offensive line's weak, Bro knows I got to get this thing out.
And so that could be the difference. With that being said, I think Josh Allen looked at some film, watched some of his own mistakes, and they corrected. I'm going Bills by 3 just because it's in Buffalo. Wait a minute, hold on. This was in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo.
Yes, in Buffalo.
Yeah. Next week, if Buffalo and Kansas City win, it becomes it's a neutral site.
Neutral site, yeah.
And,
Which looks like Atlanta for some reason, right? Is that what they decided? I actually thought they would go to Pittsburgh. I thought that would be a good place to play.
Pittsburgh
Both teams are outdoor weather, outdoor stadium, kind of in the vicinity. I thought that would be
Pittsburgh's too close to Buffalo. Too close to Buffalo. It'd be almost like a home game. I looked at a map real quick. Indianapolis. Literally, that's the equidistant to each other, close. But what the NFL has their own. Well, they probably looked at. Well, I don't know what they were looking at. Atlanta didn't make the playoffs. Indy didn't make the
Nothing.
playoffs.
That's what they were looking at. Nothing.
Whatever. Hey, NFL, hook a brother up with a job. I've been wanting to work with the NFL in some facet, some way. Just put me in the logistics team or whatever y'all got going on. But yeah, I got Buffalo by 3 just because it's in Buffalo and it's just one of those things. Just the nostalgia and everything. I feel like this is just me speaking maybe out of turn. I feel like that both teams meet at the 50-yard line or meet halfway the field and everything. All big hurrah moment and everything. DeMar Hamlin somehow makes it to the game and is on the sideline with his play. And tear jerkers and heartburn and all that. You don't feel, and it's just I feel like all of that's going to come into play. But yes, Josh Allen, hear it from the Almighty Be Live right here. Calm down. You don't have to do everything. Eddy, cool. What do you think?
I'm going to say, Be Live, you let off. It was a perfect elongated segue, but you said, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. We get to see Evan McPherson, who is as cold as ice during the postseason.
Ooh, you're predicting the Bengals on the foot of the kicker.
Yeah.
One team that can depend on their kicker.
Oh, boy, here we go. Jug, jug, jug. Jab, jab, jab. Yeah, I'm picking the Bengals by last second field goal.
Please tell me that game on Sunday night does not come down to a Cowboys field goal. Please tell me the Cowboys don't drive down to the 35-yard line, down a point, and send Brett Maher out there. Oh man, what a nightmare! I should be on cloud 9 after the Monday night game, but I am worried about that kicker, guys. When I went to college at Cal, we had a very, very good basketball team, Division II school. We had a guy on the team that was really good, and he was terrible at the free throw line. I think he shot 50% or worse at the free throw line. And a couple of the guys on the team who I was friends with said he makes them all in practice. So if Brett Maher makes every kick in practice this week, that means nothing until he actually gets out on the turf, because he might have the game day yips. That's what happened the other night. He had the yips. I mean, this guy was terrible for the Cowboys 5 years ago, and they cut him. They brought him back this year, and he obviously did something mechanical to change, because he made everything this year. He's bombing them from 55 yards. He didn't miss an extra point, or he missed 2 extra points until the final game of the season. Missed one against Washington, and then the next 4. He missed 5 consecutive extra points. Ooh. All of them going to right. He got Vanderjack-ditis, where he's just shanking the ball off to the right. Man, that makes me really, really scared going into this game on Sunday.
I was thoroughly entertained. I've never been more entertained by a Cowboys game in my life, because the first one, okay, all right, he missed it. I was like, all right, this is Tom Brady. You gave him an out. He missed the second one. Ooh, what is going on? He missed the third one. Yo, what is going on?
I would have put money he ain't missing number 4. I would have had money on it. I'd have lost a lot of money on that one.
Dink off the top. like what? He kicked the ball so hard that it went over it literally hit the top of the goalpost and missed.
It'd be like it skinned it.
Skid it.
It's skinned it.
Skidded
The
it.
first two, he shanked past the net. Like he didn't even miss the net. He kicked him into the stands.
Oh man. Well, speaking of that,
so do I pick the Cowboys to go out there and pull the upset on Sunday? Do I do that?
The playoff game of this millennium, it brings us back to the 90s.
Ooh, yes.
The San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. This is the argument. Who was the best team in the 90s? And it comes full circle right now. It might as well be the entire Dallas Cowboys fan base versus Big Kenny DeWitt, because he been talking cash all year long, and it comes full circle. Scottie D, give us your prediction.
You know, it's funny because as a Cowboy fan, all my life, I could tell you there were times when they had really good teams, and I would say, I have a bad feeling about this game, and then they would lose. Or they'd go into a game where I'd say, they're not supposed to win this game, but I have a really good feeling they're going to pull this one out, and they would. I can't gauge this team. This team is so bipolar. I can't tell you what's coming. I'd be lying if I said I thought they were going to go out there and knock Tampa Bay out the way they did. If it wasn't even really close. It wasn't even a game. And the Cowboys, when they play like that, they can beat anybody. But when they play like they did the week before, they can't beat anybody. They wouldn't beat nobody playing like they did against Washington. They wouldn't beat the Texans, who they barely beat because they played like that.
Ooh.
I'm taking the Cowboys in the upset.
I'm
taking them.
I need tag on it. That's what I needed. I needed a pencil. I wasn't ready for this. I'd have waved that pencil at you. Not so fast there, guy. The Tampa Bay pass defense and their pass rush is basically non-existent.
It's not good. You're right.
As opposed to the number one defense in all of the NFL.
Who, by the way, helped me win a fantasy football championship this very year. Yes.
You think Dak Prescott, I think he's earned Dak back after this past game, because he was going to be Dakota to me for the rest of the season. But he you know what? He earned Dak for this week. He might go back to Dakota. You think he's going to have time in that pocket like he did last game? Absolutely not. It's going to be the 49ers by 14. 49. Prescott.
Here's why I'm thinking you might be wrong. Here, this is where my entire hope rests to win this game, because I think it's possible the Cowboys can score low and win this game, and that is completely dependent on the pass, the run defense. If Dan Quinn can scheme and slow down Christian McCaffrey and put Brock Purdy into 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 situations, and have the pass rush get after him, and that's a big if, then they can pull off the upset. That's the only way they'll be able to do it. They can't do it they can't. I don't think they can win a 34-31 type of game. I think they're going to have to keep San Francisco at bay. I think they're going to have to sell out and stop the run. Hold San Francisco, make Brock Purdy have that first really bad game that we kept saying he's bound to have because he's still a rookie. That's how you do it. You have to force him into 3rd and long situations and send Micah Parsons and Dorrance Armstrong after him. And that's the Cowboys' only hope, I think.
I just remember, though, you slow down Christian McCaffrey. You got Deebo Samuel right here. You slow down.
If you're knocking a quarterback down, he can't get it to Deebo.
They're gonna get the ball to Deebo.
Well, yeah, I mean they can run him. They can run him out of the backfield. That's what the Cowboys. That's what they have to do. They have to figure out a way to stop the run and force 3rd and longs. That's the key to the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's got to be that does make sense. That really does make sense.
What's that saying? The irresistible force,
unmovable
object.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be. The San Francisco run offense against the Dallas Cowboys run defense, and then vice versa. The San Francisco pass defense against Dallas Cowboys pass offense. Dak Prescott's going to be uncomfortable. I say I said 2 touchdowns. I'm sick about 2 touchdowns. Eddie, cool. What you got?
49ers by 2 touchdowns. That's my brother Everett's favorite team. So go Niners. Niner gang, bang, bang. Ain't that what they say?
Oh, hell.
Wait, Eddie, I know you've picked them, but you're rooting for them? You're rooting against me?
Scottie D, listen, let me tell you something. I don't win often at fantasy football, right?
You're right.
Scottie D, the defense that helped me win this fantasy football championship
it's over.
Year
you don't owe them anything.
Is the San Francisco 49ers, but I can still root for them. I can still root for them. It's my brother's favorite team. I got a shout out to everybody back in Horry County, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, Bull Hill, all points in between. They're the 49ers fans. All right.
I'm your brother. I'm your brother. Your brother. I'm your sports brother.
Yes, you are my sports bro, Scottie D. But hey, look.
Me and B-Live are rooting for the Cowboys, and you're going against us.
Hold. Skirt. Wait a minute.
We got Clemson guys.
On both teams. See, hold on. Skirt. Wait a minute now. Hold on. So you're going too far. I was gonna be Switzerland. I said just based off of what I've seen on the field, I can easily root for the 49ers because before the Panthers came into play, I was a 49ers fan. My dad is a 49ers fan. I could easily do that now. I didn't do that. But if you want to go down this road, I can very easily talk trash about the Cowboys. I chose not to. You weren't supposed to say. You just go. All right, there you go.
let me just say this. I thought Lamar Jackson should have been at the Ravens game. No matter what's going on with the contract situation or his personal feelings or his knee, he should have been at the game.
Yeah.
There's a big rift between the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Just wanted to steer that conversation in a different direction because we're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens a lot, I think, for the next several months.
I think so too. I really think so too. We're about to run out of time on this segment. I was gonna say something about Michael Vick's comments about what Lamar Jackson should do, and shout out to RG3 being like, "Look, protect your investment." Well, fellas, guess what time it is?
Before you go 2 seconds about RG3, do you understand how brave he has to be to post that picture of himself?
Yeah.
And his career-ending injury to make a point? That I don't think I can do that. That is strong. Like he has come to grips with exactly what's going on in his life. So hats off to RG3.
I think he's dumb.
Wow.
Coming up next is our favorite portion of the show, the choice of the voices. And with that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. We ask you the question, you give us the answer, and then we give you our answers. But before we give you our answers, we talk about your answers, and we have fun with it. And depends on how you answer it, B-Live just might put you in the penalty box. All right. Yep. So Scottie D, with that being said, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
Well, I feel like we dragged this one out from a long time ago because we've seen an incredible first weekend of NFL playoff action. But this was in reference to the end of the regular season and the Damar Hamlin situation, which we will always remember as the top moment, not for good, but just the top of our minds, most memorable moment of this regular season. But what else besides that stood out to you during the regular season? I had a lot of people put but didn't actually answer the question. So they must have just liked the season, but didn't come up with anything specific. But we did have a few answers here.
Yeah, we did have a few. B-Live, you got something you want to say?
It was one of those things where when you looked at the post, it looked like it was a dedication to DeMar Hamlin as opposed to
Yeah, but I
asking.
reposted it a second time. And
He did.
yeah. Anyway,
So,
we did have a few. We had a few answers here.
All right, that's true. Be Live, help me with the pronunciation of this gentleman's last name.
Don't put me on the spot like that. I hope I get it right. I never asked him. It's just my dude Jose, but I'm gonna go with Irizarry.
You know what? My dude Jose. All right, so here we go. We're gonna roll with my dude Jose, and he says he put up a picture of Antonio Brown doing jumping jacks at MetLife Stadium. Even though it's not technically not this season, but it's within the year 2022. AB's January meltdown versus the Jets.
Okay, well, it was during the calendar year, so
yeah.
We should allow it.
Yeah, let's allow it. You know, it's just
man.
It falls into that technicality kind of bracket. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta look at the question again because I would have thought it would have been clear that this regular season. So now I can't do it. And the reason why I have to put them in the penalty box is because I ain't put anybody in the penalty box yet for 2023.
First one of the year.
I got a Jose, my dude, my bro, man. And speaking of that, we had a hard fought third place finish in a fantasy football league that me and him are in, which was much better than the championship game because both of us outscored the guys that are in the championship game, but they somehow miraculously beat us. So in the whole Cincinnati, Buffalo Bills cancel, there's a whole bunch of mess that went on that allowed them in or whatever. I look forward to taking over that league. I got fourth place this year, but I'm coming for the number one spot this year.
Okay. Let's talk about something interesting, like how Antonio Brown has now done about another dozen stupid things since that happened, including the latest thing on Snapchat. Did you hear this story the other day?
Oh boy!
What did he do now? What did he do now?
No.
So on Snapchat just a few days ago, he posted a picture of him and his baby mama performing sexually explicit acts, and of course he did. And now he's booted off of Snapchat, and just another classless act by a classless clown. Anyway,
look here, Antonio Brown. You and Kanye need to go find y'all some therapists and lay across that couch, eat your pork chop sandwich, drink some sweet tea, and boohoo hard cry for about 2 or 3 hours because y'all need it. I don't care what anybody says. All right, moving right along and back to the topic. Ramon James, he posted a bunch of pictures of him at the Jacksonville Jaguars game. So it's safe to say that his pick of the season is the Jaguars' epic comeback against the LA Chargers. And newsflash, Coach Staley's, he still has a damn job.
He's the only one that has a job because they fired their offensive coordinator and there was somebody else that they fired too, but
he's finding scapegoats.
Yeah,
this one right here.
It was them. I didn't do nothing.
This one right here, Scottie D, if I can, I allowed this one because this one was also not part of the 2022 regular season, but the mere fact that he was at that game.
That's why he was at that one. He was at
the Jaguars Chargers game, and as a Jaguars fan, he went through every single emotion. Down 27-0 at home. What can you? Your life force has left you. You can't cheer anymore.
No.
The only reason that you're at that game still is because you paid too much money for the ticket. So they gonna get 60 minutes out of my mind.
All right, we'll allow that one. Plus, he had to go through an Urban Meyer season, so we'll make an allowance there.
Lord have mercy. Oof, big herb. Or as Eli said,
him that shall not be named. I told y'all about the permanent penalty box for that one.
And who is he beside the penalty box, Eli?
Oh, that old decrepit stripper loving. Oh, my bad. Robert Krusty Kraft.
Oh man. All right. Houston Lewis Jr., he said the Panthers trades and firing Matt Rule all within a few weeks.
All the emotions.
Yeah.
All of the emotions. Like, that not one of us was really particularly happy about losing Christian McCaffrey. Robbie Anderson.
No, I'm not either right now.
Robbie Anderson.
Carolina would have kept him.
Nobody cared about. Christian McCaffrey, I had to be the voice of reason because it was a good business move. But man, Run CMC was like the lifeblood of this team. But we realized that, good Lord, we're actually better without him.
Ain't that something? Think about that.
We have a legit dual threat, double trouble in the backfield. And I like it.
A lot.
I mean, I really still would. And the fact that Christian McCaffrey stayed healthy the entire season. That was the reason why we traded him when we traded him. That was the exact reason why we traded him when we traded him. But yeah. Matt Rule, we were very happy when he got the can. And now we wait and see if David Tepper does the right thing and gives Wilkes the job. But we shall see. Yes, sir.
I mean, there's the coach right there, Tepper. I mean, you saw it for a good portion of the remainder of the season. So
I said, give him.
Don't you Versace this man. Don't you do the whole Rich.
Right.
Don't Rich Versace him.
Let's
you do it.
Get him a good Ben McAdoo. I ain't never trusted him. But
I call him Slick McAdoo because he puts shellac in his hair, wears it back, and think he's cool. But Ben McAdoo is not cool. The two uncool guys that I don't like is Ben Slick McAdoo and Josh McDaniels. At 50 years old, he's still wearing visors indoors. I digress. His ass got a job still. I digress. All right. And then we got Patrick Foodie. The Foodie went fool. Let's just say that, all right? He said when the refs basically bleepity bleep the Lions out of a playoff spot because they're a bunch of bleepity bleep morons and the league refuses to do a bleepity bleep thing about it.
Okay. He answered this right after all the events unfurled where the Lions missed the playoffs, but then again, they needed some help with that. But
and they lost to the Panthers.
And yeah, that happened too. I mean, I didn't. Patrick Foodie, when I tell you, he is a diehard Lions fan. There's about three of my boys here in town that are Lions fans. Already in discussions about going to a Red Wings Hurricanes hockey game in Raleigh soon. So my boy Vito Tristan, my dude. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, Lions fans, they have a lot to be happy about. But yeah, there was a couple of questionable situationals that happened over the course of the last couple of weeks in professional football. But yeah. I think the future is bright because I think all the other teams in the NFC North are taking a step back. All of them.
Regression.
Oh yeah. We still don't know how much ayahuasca Aaron Rodgers is going to do this offseason. He's intent on holding the whole franchise hostage.
Do it again, Scottie D, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers?
It's the same thing. Pat McAfee should have taken the day off the other day and just played the show from last year because that's all he did was just say,
I need time to
decompress and decide what we're going to do as an organization. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, what else we got?
Hey, just like I said, he needs to go out there with Jake Plummer and they need to grow some mushrooms together because Jake Plummer seems to be happy. That seems to be his ilk, his speed. Aaron Rodgers, get a connection with Jake Plummer and go grow mushrooms and do
Just
something.
just go somewhere.
Just go.
Just go because you know what, you learn from the best, because this is not about to be Far Watch Part 99. All right, and with that being said, shout out to my dude Jose, Ramon James, Houston Lewis Jr., and Patrick the Foodie, because the Foodie has gone fool, y'all, for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. All right, I'm gonna go first.
Hang on a second. Let me take a quick time out here, Eddie. Cool,
Okay.
because I did actually have a couple
I'm
from the
out.
week before.
Okay.
We had an
You said you reposted.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So we actually had Craig Burns answered the week before and said, memorable from the season was watching Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers lose a combined 18 games, which was quite entertaining. So
yeah.
A little Aaron Rodgers shade there, and Brady, you know, as we know, Mr. Burns is a big time Patriot fan, and so that was, I think a lot of people would probably share that sentiment of seeing those two guys struggle. And then our good old friend Trey Duke, his moment was when Cooper Rush's Cowboys played versus opponents with a combined 48-34 record, an average opponent defense of 12th overall, and went 4-1 with only 3 picks, which all happened in one game. And Dak Prescott's Cowboys played opponents with a combined record of 95-105 and went 8-4 with 15 picks, which happened in every game he played but 2. That was really fun for me, but the number one moment was when Dak Prescott was born. Okay, anyway, that's enough of that one.
That's enough of that.
Dak had a good game, so I can't get too bad on him.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. When he posted that was before the playoff game.
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it'd be much different now knowing Trey. It's just my guess.
The man had 5 total touchdowns with 0 interceptions. That man played phenomenal.
He did play good. He did play good. All right, Eddie, cool. Give us yours, buddy.
Hey, just like everybody said, that's the Dak that I know. All right. And that's the Dak that you Cowboys fans have been wanting to see the last longest. My pick, the most memorable event, moment, thing of the 2022 season, the Detroit Lions. Ooh. All right. The Detroit Lions. They this year they finished second in their division at 9-8, when last year they went 13-3-1?
3-13-1.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 3-13-1.
Yeah.
Damn it, I need some. Scotty, let me borrow them readers, man. Let me hold them dollar store readers.
We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant at that time too.
Yeah, they were 3-13-1 last year, and this year they finish at 9-8. Jared Goff is playing some pretty good football. Amon-Ra St. Brown is really emerging as a true number 1 wide receiver. And you got Jamal Williams, who's just being himself, and that infectious energy is going all across the team. You got Penei Sewell catching big boy fly routes, and then you got Dan Campbell just continuing to have some hot-boiled, fried, poached kneecaps. And it's safe to say that those guys have bought into that system, and they're going to be a problem for a very, very long time. The defense is good too. So 2022, the first thing I want to think about is how much the Detroit Lions finished a game above 500 and could have possibly retired Aaron Rodgers. So think about it. Scottie D, what say you?
I'm gonna have to go with non-Cowboy stuff because everything I remember about the season is Cowboys, the peaks and valleys and all that. But actually, I'll just to go a little bit further on your point, because I had 3 things written down, and that was one of them is the Lions-Packers final game of the season. How impressed I was with the Lions, knowing that they had already been eliminated from the playoffs, and they came out and took Aaron Rodgers down. That looked like a team that really wanted it, a team that's going to go into the offseason with a lot of momentum, and they're probably going to be the happiest team to not win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, what everybody feels bad when you fail, and that team won their final game and they are feeling good about themselves. So again, thumbs up to the Lions for that. You guys aren't going to like this one, but the pass from PJ Walker to DJ Moore against Atlanta. Here's the thing that keeps getting missed. That might have been the best pass of the entire season. That pass was insanely incredible. He's rolling to his opposite arm, thrown across his body, and puts the pass perfectly behind the defense in a situation where you just don't make that pass. that was phenomenal. And then, of course, the helmet comes off, and the whole craziness ensues with overtime and all that stuff. The missed extra point, and Atlanta won, and that was costly to Carolina. I'm not honestly, I'm not saying that to rub salt in wounds. That just to me, that play stands out because of how good of a play that was and how bizarre it created an ending for that game. And then for me, the most memorable probably game of the year was the Bills and Vikings. You had the crazy catch with both receivers, Diggs and my man from Minnesota. Why am I
Justin Jefferson?
Jefferson, yeah. Both made incredible catches. And then the Bills taking a knee and fumbling the ball in their own end zone and then still managing to come back. The Vikings come back. I mean, it was just a crazy game. The whole thing was wild. It was a wild scene. And to me, that game that kind of stood out. I mean, not to mention the Vikings had the whole comeback against the Colts, which was memorable in itself. But the Buffalo thing created a lot more drama against a really good team, I thought. So those are some of my memorable ones. How about you, B-Live?
Well, let's go ahead and just put this out here. Since you had kicker issues this past week, and then I'm used to mention about the firing of Matt Rule and the trades and everything. I combined the two, and I'm gonna need you to stay out my notes, Scott, because that was my most memorable. That 62-yard pass from PJ Walker. That was 62. That was 62 yards. It was 65 plus.
It was beautiful.
In the air.
It was beautiful.
Like, I didn't know PJ Walker had an arm like that. Let's go. I was like,
it was great.
Let's get it. But the whole bunch of emotion, helmet come off. I still don't blame DJ Moore. There's no the amount of emotion that goes into that. There's no way that play actually happens. An incredible
really
throw.
That was
an
dumb.
incredible thing. There you go with the dumbness again.
It was dumb. That was a dumb thing to do. It was a dumb thing to do.
You tell me in that moment that you can keep your emotions at bay like that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Probably not.
You have to. You
don't
have to take your helmet off.
Here's the thing. You say I'm glad you said it the way you said it.
You see teams win at the buzzer all the time. They don't play off their helmets off.
No. If you remember correctly, Stephon Diggs did the same exact thing, but the game there was no more time. But here's the thing. You're not thinking of that exact thing at that exact moment. There's a lot of
that's why it's dumb.
Again, I like the way you said you have to. You didn't say you could. You said you have to. I asked the question, would you be able to control your emotions at that point in time? And your answer was you have to. You didn't say you could. No, too late now. You went off of how you felt at that moment when I asked that question, and you said you had to.
You have to.
You went off of your own emotions. You didn't answer the question. You went off of your own emotions. You couldn't keep your own. You could keep your own emotions in bay right now. When I asked you the question, I asked you a simple question, and you couldn't even keep your emotions at bay. What do you think you're going to do in front of 85,000 screaming people with 13
Leave my helmet on.
Yeah, you're not. No, you're not. The only reason why you're going to be, only reason why you keep your helmet on. You just told
me about one other guy that did it. People every week, guys kick field goals or score touchdowns during games, and their helmets don't go flying off.
The only reason why your helmet would stay on is because it's got that big old head to keep on there and be stuck on the top right there. That's why the only reason why the helmet gonna stay on. You're gonna quit calling my man dumb for that. The reason why I was bringing it up was the fact that Ed Pinero had a chance to kick a 48-yard field goal and missed it. But then he also had to get, yes, that was dumb. But then the 48-yard one, he could have been off the hook. 33-yarder, kick it, win it, game over. The Panthers are in the playoffs. Yeah. If he kicks that 33-yarder, the Panthers are in the playoffs, and all is a race.
Yeah.
That catch is memorable. He is a hero, but now we're sitting at home wondering who our coach is going to be. Get out of my notes, Scottie D. I told you about that. You're going to stop calling DJ Moore dumb.
I didn't call him dumb, but that move was dumb.
ladies and
I mean,
gentlemen.
I'm sure Albert Einstein did some dumb things too. But
What,
he was smart.
what does Albert Einstein got to do with the price of tea and time and China and the theory of relativity with the speed of light squared and whatever? You and them readers that got you thinking that you're smart, but you look dumb. That's what
Move over, Skip and Shannon. Stephen A. and whoever he's beating up on that day, y'all get the hell away out of the way too. This is the Sports Bros podcast. This is the choices of the voices. This is our favorite portion of the show. And if it ain't yours by now, damn it, you ain't got no polls. You ain't got no polls. You ain't alive. You Undertaker, dead. Just like that. This is going to look great on YouTube as well too. God, I love doing this. Scottie D, what the hell is on tap for next week? Woo!
I'm asking you an easy one. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? That's what I'm asking to our listeners, our followers next week.
Simple.
Simple. Who is going to win the Super Bowl?
Simple. We don't want no picks from last season. 3 minutes ago, we want one more time. Scottie, repeat it for one more time.
Who is going to win the Super Bowl? We're asking you that this week before the game start. Well, actually, we're going to have to probably reveal our picks amongst each others.
Well, we'll reveal the picks amongst ourselves. We'll await the answers from the voices, and then there'll be a cutoff on Saturday because I don't want nobody coming in Sunday and Monday like, oh, I said it. No,
yeah,
you're too late.
Yeah.
Pick the Cowboys now or forever hold your peace.
I'm waiting on you to see if you actually pick the Cowboys to win it all. Man.
All right, with that being said, it's been another action-packed edition of Choices of the Voices. Coming up next, we got Around the Pepper. No one's sneezing. There's no pepper anywhere, but we got our own pepper. Stay tuned.
Eli said I look dumb, so I'm leaving. Goodbye.
So I guess he's going to go. I guess it's what it's I guess it's it. Twist that pepper grinder, be live. Pepper coming right up after this.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
You heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, we got a round of pepper. 3 topics, rapid fire style. If I can talk today, kind of, sort of, not really here to engage, educate, enlighten, and entertain. Scottie D, B-Live pissed Scottie D off so much that he just left. He said, you know what? I can't take this. He wanted what Shannon Sharp wanted to do on his show. Scottie D did it on his show. So Scottie D, we love you. Come back. Be Live. Y'all got to kiss and make up. And with that being said, I'll go first. You show record thunder stealer. You on this day in history back in 1981, Muhammad Ali talks a despondent 21-year-old out of committing suicide. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the greatest. I can knock him down in the ring, and I can save lives too. Your life is so fulfilling. It got a lot going on. You need to live your life and be in purpose. Just live your life. I'm just doing a reenactment of that said conversation, but I don't know. But shout out to Muhammad Ali for saving lives. Over to you, B Live.
Oh, man. You know the talk of the season when it comes to certain things. You know my heart and passions with college football. So my first pepper point is going to be about prime time Deion Sanders taking over the job at Colorado. You know, there's all kinds of man, there's been so much hype, so much talk about and everything. I want to put things into perspective, however, because Deion Sanders is not a miracle worker. He's just he definitely knows how to recruit. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time when it comes to his position in the sport. He knows the game of football. That does not mean that he can garner immediate success. So I'm going to need a lot of people to pump the brakes because his first 5 games of his football season, is rocky. Because the very first game that Colorado faces is against the runner-up in the college football playoff national championship game. They're traveling to TCU for their very first game. Deion Sanders' very first game is against TCU. Then he's got his second game is against the newly enshrined Matt Rule.
That's a win. That's a win. That's a damn win. A blowout.
Then he's got Colorado State, which should be a win. But then got them Ducks from Oregon. And then he's got them Trojans from Southern Cal. He could easily go 2-3. TCU, Oregon, Southern Cal in his first 5 games. Whew. So he's got there's a road to travel to get Colorado relevant. He's there. We here now. But man, he could easily go 2-3 his first 5 games. So everybody else that want to hate on the man, so just pump your brakes. This is not an easy road to start. Eddy cool. The ball.
And speaking of college football, be like perfect segue for my second pepper point. A kid by the name of Dearness Collin. You probably like, who the hell is Dearness Collin? Oh, you know him. You remember that time he was mistaken for Little Terrio at Popeye's Chicken, and he was holding his cup. He was giving you side eye, like, what you want? What are you doing? Well, at first, Dearness like, you know what? I really didn't like it. You know, I became known as the Popeye's Chicken Kid. But in the world of college football and NIL deals, he figured out a way how to capitalize off of his image. All right. So there's a billboard in Newark, New Jersey. The New Jersey native has a billboard, and it says, "From memes to dreams," and the billboard is sponsored by Popeye's Chicken. And that is a part of his NIL deal. And he said, with all the support, I was able to take it and use it to expand my name, not just keep me as the Popeyes Kid. All right. So that being said, shout out to him for inking a deal with Popeyes Chicken. Hopefully they use that money to perfect the recipe to fix them dry ass biscuits. Over to you, Be Live.
Oh man, that's outstanding. Love that chicken from Popeye.
Hate them biscuits though.
Oh man, it's just always gonna be dry. Oh man. College basketball for my second pepper point, because we saw something this week that we never seen before, and I'm gonna try to go as quickly as I possibly can. Shout out to Iowa State, Tennessee, Arizona, Texas. Let's see. Nope. I got Kansas State, Arkansas, Miami, Wisconsin, Providence, Missouri, San Diego State, and Duke. In total, 11 ranked teams lost on the same day this past Saturday. 11 teams.
Damn.
Yeah, just shook up the entire college basketball nation. And of course, Clemson won against Duke and then lost to Wake Forest. So they made it to ranked, and then they probably gonna drop back out. But that is what it is. Bleed orange, all roads lead to Dabo. You guys are Eddy cool. The ball.
And my third and final pepper point, I want to remind you guys to check out my appearance on the Tapped In with Tony Bogan podcast. We talked about everything from the Sports Bros podcast to how I got my start in the sports media industry, and also them dry ass biscuits from Popeye seem to be a hot button topic. It's always good to talk to Tony Bogan, and you should really check it out. As a matter of fact, when you go down to the description box in today's episode, you'll find the link. So when you get a chance, check me out on Tapped In with Tony Bogan. Be Live. Take us home.
All right. Well, I'm going to show my age just a little bit. You see all the gray hair right here. But you know you're getting old when the people that you grew up with now have kids that you are now associated with in some shape, form, or fashion when it comes to adult activities. One person in particular that felt really old this past week is one known as the King, LeBron James. Because the last game that he played and one of the players on the team was by the name of Houston Rockets forward Jabari Smith Jr. And I emphasize on the junior because in LeBron James' first ever game 20 years ago, October 29th, 2023, he played against Jabari Smith Sr.
Wow.
Jabari Smith Jr. came up to the LeBron and was like, your very first game you played against my dad. Does that make you feel old? Yes, it does. Man, if you don't take your young
knock your young ass.
LeBron James successfully has played against father and son in the NBA in the likes of Jabari Smith Sr., Jabari Smith Jr. Yes, he's been in the league that long. Yes, sir.
Yep. And also, I was watching the Pivot podcast last night, and Ken Griffey was like, yo, when Bronny comes into the league and plays with LeBron James, Ken Griffey said, I already told my daddy, we going to the game. We going to the game. We got witness history. And with that being said, it's been another episode of the Sports Bros podcast. Hopefully, Scottie D will lick his wounds and come back. Be live. You're a mean one. You're a villain. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. Pay your taxes, pay your bills, and just be a good person. This has been another episode of the Sports Bros podcast. Be live. Get the hell up out of here.
That's what I mean. I lost everything. It's going down. Man down. Scottie D, I love you. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, God. Help. Everything's broken. Yes, sir.
That's going on YouTube. Thanks for watching and listening to the Sports Bros podcast. Bye, y'all. Hey, it's Eddy Cool here from the Sports Bros podcast. And do you want some more of the Sports Bros podcast in your life? Wait a minute, don't answer that. The answer is yes. And I know you want some more of the Sports Bros podcast in your life. Do us a small favor. Go to the description box, click our Linktree link, and you'll see all the links on how to follow the Sports Bros podcast. Once again, thanks for listening.